Stars make every player on the team better. Michael Jordan, his ability to challenge himself, his natural ability physically of being able to play with such great energy, his intelligence, basketball intelligence, all those things I think were remarkable. I enjoyed coaching Michael Jordan because he had a respect for coaches and he had a desire to play at a peak level, and he's willing to follow instructions without, wanting to over-dominate the game. Even as a young player, there were times in the fourth quarter where he would make up the difference in a ball game on his own. I had to bring Michael in my office and say, Michael, when's the last time someone who led the league in scoring won a championship? Thought about it a bit. He said, Rick Barry. I said, yeah, that's right, in the 70s. But it's very rare that person that wins scoring championship is also on a championship team. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to move the ball around and we're going to take the spotlight off you all the time and involve the other players on your team. He said, oh, you're going to have that equal opportunity offense. Well, what's going to happen when the 24-second clock gets under 5 seconds? We'll coach the players how to get the ball to you in that particular time so you can activate the ball. Save that terrific scoring ability for the fourth quarter. He laughed and he accepted the responsibility. And the other thing that we did is we moved him from a guard to a forward position. We really wanted to win the series in Chicago, game 5, and we lost this game and we flew out to Utah to play the 6th game, and Michael said, we're going to end it tonight. You guys get ready for this ball game because we're not going 7. Going into the game, we kind of knew what we had to do to win the game. You had to play close, but come out and win the game in the last 5 minutes. The timeout that I did take with about 40-some seconds to go. That was the key, because knowing Jerry Sloan and having coached against him many times, I knew that if we could go down and score and make it a one-possession game, that he wouldn't call a timeout. We'll run the open. Dennis will, run a pick or set a pick or slip a pick, depending upon what Ostertag does. And Michael, you can double back on Malone if you have the ability. You saw the crowd rise behind that whole activity. You could see the anticipation that they had that this was a crucial moment. Michael changed the idea and pulled up for the jumper instead of taking it to the hoop and finished it. We called that season The Last Dance, and I thought, for an ending of a career, there could have been nothing sweeter than what Michael had just done.
All right, fellas, let's get out of the box quickly. Louis, to your last time, take a shot. What time is it? Game time! Move!
Every great plot has its twist. Game 5 of the NBA Finals was no exception. In fact, it may have shifted the momentum in this series. Michael Jordan was hitting the back of the rim all night. Meanwhile, Karl Malone finally found his rhythm, 39 points. And he had help, most notably from an unlikely source, forward Antoine Carr. Called upon in the second half, Carr had 5 attempts from the field. He made all 5. Chicago couldn't close it out at home, so we're back in Utah for Game 6, coming up next.
And a lovely evening view south over the Utah State Capitol building. Here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Our spectacular setting for tonight's game.
For game number 6 of the NBA Finals with the Chicago Bulls and our Utah Jazz. And now, introducing the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls. Wearing number 13, the starting center at 7'2" from New Mexico, Luke Longley. On the guideline, number 9 at 6'6" from Miami of Ohio, Rob Harper. Wearing number 7, starting forward at 6'11" from Croatia, Tony Kukoc. Wearing number 33, starting forward at 6'7" from Central Arkansas, Scottie Pippen. And a car, number 23 at 6'6" from North Carolina, Michael Jordan. The Bulls are coached by Phil Jackson. Starting forward, number 3 at 6'7" from Long Beach State, Brian Russell. The starting center, number 31 at 6'9" from Stanford, Adam Keefe. At guard, number 14, at 6'4" from Iowa State, Jeff Hornacek. On the guard line, number 12 at 6'1" from Gonzaga, John Stockton. Starting at forward, number 32, at 6'9", from Louisiana Tech, the mailman, Carl. The Jazz are coached by Jerry Sloan. Fans, let's hear it for your Utah Jazz.
Welcome, everyone, to Game 6 of the NBA Finals. I'm Kevin Harlan. With me, former NBA Coach of the Year Mike Fratello and former player Clark Kellogg. On our sideline tonight, reporter David Olden. Mike, the only reason this series was extended to Game 6 is because of Utah's adjustments in Game 5.
The screen and roll is a big part of their offense. They went away from it. Instead, they posted Karl Malone, inserted Antoine Carr, who gave them another shooter, so when Pippen doubled, he could kick the ball to the open man.
And for Chicago in Game 5, Tony Kukoc coming up big, Clark. He had 30 points, but Jordan and Pippen could not get it going.
That's why we always talk about the importance of the team. It's rare that either guy, Pippen or Jordan, is off his game, let alone both of them at the same time. Jordan just couldn't find the range, and Pippen was ineffective against Hornacek in the low post.
It was so surprising, but Hornacek did a great job.
Yeah.
On the floor for the Chicago Bulls, Luke Longley is at the 5. The forwards, Scottie Pippen and Tony Kukoc. And at the guard positions, Ron Harper and the great Michael Jordan. And so for the Utah Jazz, it's Adam Keefe and Karl Malone inside. Brian Russell at the 3 and also tasked with defending Michael Jordan. And the skilled backcourt of Jeff Hornacek and John Stockton.
When you look at how the Bulls have played on the road this postseason, they're only 4-4. And most of those losses have come against their toughest opponents, Utah and Indiana.
And it's good, 2 points.
Stockton loves finding the open teammate. Does it again here.
Jordan left side. And stolen by Russell. Tries it from 9. And he gets it to go. Clark, of course, it took Chicago 7 games to get past Indiana. And as a former Pacer, I know how proud you are of those players from Indianapolis.
No question about it, Kevin. Being part of that franchise's history and seeing that Indiana team push the Bulls harder than any team had during this dynasty, impressive.
It was. Hey, Clark, with the injury issues to Pippen and Harper, so much falling on the big shoulders of Michael Jordan.
And we know those shoulders are broad and capable, and we're used to thinking of Michael Jordan as superhuman, but he's now in his 30s playing big minutes. Does he have enough to climb another hurdle? We'll see.
It's going to be interesting to find out. And now, just over a minute played here in the first. Hornacek outside. Malone kicks to Hornacek. The 17-footer, 5 to shoot. Malone in the post. Pippen on him. Malone misses. And a big Game 5 for Tony Kukoc. You know, Clark, he made as many shots in just 13 attempts as Jordan and Pippen made collectively in a combined 42. I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah, his efficiency was off the charts, and I don't think the Bulls fed him enough. They got to remedy that tonight, though, Kevin.
You're right. So it's the Jazz now after the Bulls pick up 2. Here's Hornacek, and out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. And a big question in this game will be how effective Scottie Pippen can be with this back spasm issue.
Well, in Game 5, he was only 2 of 16 from the floor. But he gave them 11 boards, 11 assists, and 3 steals. Can he find a way to impact the game tonight?
Like he did in Game 5, you're right. And the Bulls, David Aldridge, with some concerning injuries.
Thanks, guys. Now, the big news for the Bulls is the condition of Scottie Pippen, who hurt his back in Game 3. He did take an injection yesterday, did electrical stim, iced it, had ultrasound and a massage, and then he did a lot of stretching. He told me he's a little bit ginger, but nothing can keep him out of a game like this. Back to you.
We knew that. David, thank you. Mike, it really has been an injury-plagued series for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, Ron Harper has the flu, can't hold down any food. Plus, the Bulls have been without a couple other key players. Monumental challenge for them tonight.
Huge, you're right. And Mike, coming into this game, Malone said he wanted to attack the paint early.
That's right, looking to put pressure on the rim and, if possible, get Rodman and Longley in early foul trouble.
A solid defender and three-point shooter out on the wing. Russell's skill set to fit on any roster. You know, they'll be looking for more of that. An easy layup right there.
Always nice to get a few easy ones early in a game to build a rhythm.
And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Outside, Russell. Pass to Hornacek from the arc. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
We know how good a shooter he is. It's frustrating for him when he's not able to knock down that kind of wide open look.
So they take the lead.
Tell you what, he looks laser focused out of the gate. Scary thought for the defense when he's locked in like that.
And you worry about just how quickly he's working himself into a rhythm. Not what the D wants. And Dennis Rodman, not his usual energetic self in Game 5. Just 3 rebounds.
Tying his season low. He's got his work cut out for him trying to battle with Karl Malone.
Keefe against Pippen. Passes it to Malone. 4 on the shot clock. Another miss by Utah.
He tried to use the fadeaway. Get a little space. Not an easy shot to drain.
Basket good. And that's now 6 points for Michael Jordan.
Excellent vision from Kukoc. He sees a ready shooter and makes sure the ball gets in his hands.
Jazz trail by 3. Offensively, Clark, things have sort of fallen apart for him.
And they need to recover as soon as possible.
And we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there.
Ball violation. That's a jump ball.
And the Jazz with possession here. Malone passes to Russell. He dishes it to Hornacek. And that's collected by Longley.
And both of these teams have struggled with their three-point shooting throughout this series.
And you know, Mike, in particular, the Jazz, I mean, they've been around 22% through the first 5 games. During the regular season, they shot 37%. Good for 5th best in the league.
And he's got his first chance at the line here. So Utah ends up going with the new group. Chicago also making some changes. Dennis Rodman, he's checked in for Longley. Burrell comes in for Scottie Pippen. And Steve Kerr is subbed in for Harper. The free throw off from Kukoc.
Often recognized for his shooting and scoring ability, Kukoc also possesses solid court vision and is a skilled passer.
And the Bulls limping to the finish. You wonder, do they have enough left to get it done?
There is a toll to playing into June year after year. A lot of challenges to reach this point. Now, with the finish line in sight, they're trying to make that last push.
There's 47 seconds left to play in the first. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Jazz.
Falling behind in this one, needing a spark.
They need to find something that works and stick with it.
and he's checked in for the Bulls.
Phil Wennington.
44 seconds left in the first quarter. Anderson passes to Isley. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. Here's Burrell. Stripped away. In transition, here come the Jazz. Here's Morris. Chicago grabs the miss. Here's Jordan. The Bulls trying to slam the door for their 6th title.
Right out of the starting blocks. They've been dominant at the offensive end.
And that early momentum has helped them put together a nice lead.
The pass to Isley. With 1 on the clock. And as the first quarter wraps up, already a double-digit lead. It's Chicago up 10. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the second quarter of the NBA Finals, Game 6 here in Utah. As the Chicago Bulls look to close out the Jazz. But do they have enough left in the tank to get it done? The Bulls leading by 10.
And these Bulls have to feel like the time is now to close out the series. They do not want it getting to a Game 7 on the road.
So the Bulls 5 right now. Burrell out there with Rodman. Then it's Kerr, and it's Michael Jordan, and it's Wellington in at the 5. Morris with the bucket.
Really nice job moving the ball around that time, picking apart that defense.
And Clark, the Bulls looking to close it out tonight. Critical since very few teams have been able to win a Finals Game 7 on the road.
And you know what, Kevin? If it got to that point, all the momentum would be with the Jazz having battled back from down 3-1. The Bulls got to play like this is the Game 7 here.
Oh, once again, you've mapped it out well, Clark. And for a word on why we're in Utah today, here's David Aldridge.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, if you asked me what was the most important regular season game, undoubtedly it would be the one in mid-season here at the Delta Center. The Jazz trailed the Bulls by 24 points early, but they rallied to win. If you change that outcome, this series would have opened and ended in Chicago rather than Salt Lake City. Back to you guys.
Yeah, good point, David. Thank you. It was that win that gave Mike Utah home court.
And gives Utah a Game 7 if one is necessary
Yes.
here in Salt Lake City rather than on the road.
Excellent point. Mike, in the early going, Kukoc is getting his touches, and he has responded.
Such a unique skill set for a player of his size. He presents a tough matchup for the Utah Jazz.
He does. Seems to me, Clark, like the Bulls doing a pretty good job of containing the terrific Karl Malone.
Well, you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. And after his big showing in Game 5, Kevin, they knew that would be a critical element tonight. Bottle up Malone.
That's right, top of the priority list. Pippen clearly laboring tonight, guys. That back must still be a factor.
Boy, that big reach of Malone, so effective on the glass, helping him to get to the loose ball so he can throw it back in the hole.
And the dunk by Jordan.
Throwing it down with tremendous power.
Woo! One-handed nonetheless.
He's an absolute force, that's for certain.
Here is Stockton. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. He kicks it to Russell. Stockton outside. Pass to Carr. And it's off the back rim. No good. Chicago leading by 11. And in this MVP battle so far, Michael Jordan is coming out, I think, Coach, on top.
Yeah, Karl Malone not having the same impact as MJ. That's been a factor.
Huge.
And in these particular playoffs, the Bulls have lost 4 of their last 5 on the road. They know they've got to get busy and handle their business now.
Outside for Stockton. Shot clock at 6. Pass to Malone. That's good. And a nice assist from Stockton. 6 points for Karl Malone.
You can tell Malone is a really instinctive scorer. He doesn't need time to think about his shot. He knows exactly what he's looking for.
And the shot goes in. And the Utah Jazz, Mike, the last 2 years, the best winning percentage in franchise history.
Top 2 in the league. This Stockton-Malone pairing is one for the record books.
History in front of our eyes. You're right. Passes to Russell. Back to Stockton. Hornacek for 3. The shot, no good. And it's Chicago the other way.
Utah still struggling from deep. We saw it last game, and it's continued in this one.
So, Mike, the mailman, Karl Malone, as intended, doing damage inside.
The Bulls lack anyone who can really slow him down in there.
Now, here is Russell. Following the miss by Michael Jordan.
And you can see he was set right there in good legal guarding position. That's a nice job.
And his teammates appreciate him sacrificing his body. Just a gritty defensive play.
Keefe, he's checked in for the Jazz. And the Bulls making a change also. Harper, he's checked in for Steve Kerr. And 3 from Jordan. A three-pointer is right on target. Jordan's got the lead up to 14 now for the Bulls. .127 left in the first half of the game. Stockton kicks to Russell. And the pass to Hornacek. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
That's his first.
Dennis Rodman picks one up.
And the Utah Jazz not getting a lot from their center position in this series. Both Greg Ostertag and Jeff Forster, relative non-factors.
This is his first free throw of the game.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. And for the Jazz's center troubles, Clark, you can't help but recall the trade deadline deal that almost brought center Ronnie Cycli to Utah.
You know, Kevin, that trade was a done deal, but then somehow it just fell apart and fell through. A big man averaging 15 and 7 in Orlando. Boy, he could have really helped.
Oh, you said it. And so Hornacek nails both of them.
And he's been locked in from the line, proving he's someone that you don't want to foul.
Here's Harper, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. Harper's got his first bucket of the night.
The big guard, Harper, using his sides to take advantage inside.
And 1:01 left now here in the second. Hornacek outside. Back to Stockton. Nice ball movement by Utah. Malone. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
He'd like that one back. That's normally a shot he makes.
And here's Jordan outside. And that one's in. He's only missed 3 of 13.
Looking to stretch this lead out even further, going right after his shot.
And the defense continues to not be up to the challenge.
Pass to Hornacek. And here's Stockton. Right side, Russell. Hornacek passes to Stockton. 6 to shoot. Here is Keefe. Hornacek outside. Over Jordan. Here's Keefe. It's hauled in by Longley.
You know, even though it's a point-blank range shot, that's not an easy one, especially when the defense is that tight.
And it's Jordan with the jam.
Playing well on both ends of the floor, stifling defense and dangerous O. That's a heck of a combo.
That's what has built this lead.
Three-pointer from Stockton. And the last second attempt does not go in for him.
You know, Harper's a strong defender. Crafty and excels at sticking to his man and contesting shots with his reach.
And so it's the Chicago Bulls with a 19-point advantage heading into the next quarter. Their defense has been active and effective. We'll return shortly. Welcome back to the second half of Game 6 in the NBA Finals here in Salt Lake City, Utah. The Jazz trying to force a Game 7 against the defending champion Chicago Bulls in front of these tremendous fans. The Bulls leading by 19.
And not just Scottie Pippen dealing with a bad back. John Stockton also dealing with back issues.
Keith is out there with Malone. It's Brian Russell. Then it's Stockton. And it's Hornacek in at the shooting guard position. That's the group for Jerry Sloan getting going here in the second half.
He did everything in his power to make that a difficult shot.
Yeah, great contest. You know, this is something he brings to the table, the ability to anchor your defense.
And apparently Clark Stockton got a back adjustment at halftime.
Well, Kevin, you know, at this point in the season, just about everybody is dealing with some kind of ailment. It's really a battle of attrition.
It is. And Pippen giving them what he can, but Clark, you can tell, he is really limited.
Sometimes it's simply the power of your presence, Kevin, that can inspire your team. Just being out there can give your team a lift. You go back to Willis Reed limping out of the tunnel in that iconic shot in 1970. Will Scottie sacrifice lift his teammates in the same way? Perhaps.
That is the question. Now here's Jordan. They have a 22-point lead. It's the most they've led by.
He is determined to hunt shots out there on the perimeter.
And it is paying off. He's finding a big chunk of his points from three-point range.
Stockton against Harper. Pass to Malone. Back to Stockton. From deep. Kukoc grabs the miss. Kukoc has got 4 rebounds now tonight. And Coach, the hot hand of Tony Kukoc, continues to find the net.
The lefty's such a gifted ball handler. He can get his shot off whenever he wants.
Ever since halftime, they have been parked out at the arc, dropping bomb after bomb.
And who can blame them? When you're hitting like this, you got to just keep it going.
And here's Stockton following the three-pointer by Michael Jordan. Hornacek for 3. Utah gets it back and stolen by Jordan. Here's Pippen. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. Jordan's got 3 assists tonight. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. They need to find a high percentage shot, Clark, to regain some of that confidence.
I think they've gone too long without seeing one go down, and that begins to mess with your psyche.
Hornacek, no luck.
They desperately need something to fall.
Well, they're on the wrong side of a big run. Never a good feeling.
Kukoc kicks to Jordan. And the layup's good off the glass. Jordan's got 11 points in the quarter.
And you look at Karl Malone, 6'9", 250 pounds, just a Goliath. The Bulls are hard-pressed to deal with his physicality inside.
Here's Keith. A good finish at the rack off the slick feed.
The defense has to be aware and know that Keith is going to attack inside. That's where he operates best.
From deep three-point range, Harper, no good. And Clark, can talk about defending Malone. Dennis Rodman is game for that challenge. He's game for any challenge, but that one in particular.
Yeah, with Dennis Rodman, it's about embracing that hard-nosed physical play. And we know that Rodman is a guy who never backs up from that.
No, he doesn't.
He's out ahead of the pack on both sides with his scoring so far, playing with a lot of intensity and refusing to be denied.
Russell finds Stockton. There's 1:17 left to play in the third. Just 5 on the clock. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. Coach, Michael Jordan is having himself a game. Wow.
Outplaying Karl Malone to this point. The Bulls getting the better of that superstar matchup.
And, you know, you look at the Jazz with Malone and their other bigs, they've got a significant size advantage inside, but the Bulls have done a nice job holding their own on the glass.
He's been a reliable offensive option, currently maintaining an impressive field goal percentage in this game.
And so Stockton will bring it up for the Jazz. Malone looking around. Up again. Great positioning on the putback.
The mailman delivering the night, door-to-door style. Malone asserting himself well on the offensive end.
Inside. Whistle blows, basket is good. So a chance here for a three-point play.
First personal foul.
Good recognition. You have the mismatch, go to work.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group. Carr, he's checked in for Keefe. Morris comes in for Russell. Anderson, he's checked in for Hornacek. And Isley subbed in for John Stockton. Then for the Bulls, Dennis Rodman, he's checked in for Kukoc. Bushler comes in for Pippen. And Steve Kerr is subbed in for Harper. Free throw, good, Longley.
And every team would like to have a player like Longley. He's an unassuming guy who plays to his strengths and does what's best for his team.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Malone, the pass to Isley. Kicks it to Morris. Clock at 4. A 3. Not gonna go that time. And so it's Michael Jordan making things happen for the Bulls. And it was from three-point range where he did the most damage. He knocked down 3 in that quarter. And don't go away. We'll be right back. We're back for the fourth quarter of play here in Game 6. The Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls, for the second year in a row, battling for an NBA championship. It all comes down to this. And so it's Utah here with the ball.
And you look at it, John Stockton, 36 years of age, Karl Malone at 34. You wonder, is this their last best chance at a title?
So with Pippen sitting on the bench, this is Phil Jackson's lineup. Jordan is out there with Kerr. Then there's Bill Wennington. Then it's Bush. And it's Burrell in at the small forward. Now, here is Jordan. Passes it to Burrell. 6 on the shot clock. And there's the pass to Bush. A rebound by Isaac. And Stockton at this point has played more playoff games, Clark, than anyone in NBA history without winning a title.
Boy, you certainly respect the number of deep runs that he's been part of. And at this point, all he wants is a ring.
He's going to the Hall of Fame, but you're right. This has got to be the one thing absent on his resume.
No doubt.
Wow, what a game for Tony Kukoc, Mike, continuing his strong play from Game 5.
He's come alive for them at just the right time, providing that 1-2 punch at the offensive end.
He has been great.
That's a heads-up play by Kerr, finding the open man and getting him the ball on time and on target. Well done.
Mike, they are desperate to find a basket.
They're having a really hard time out there.
You're right. Here's Foster. Pass to Carr. In the corner, it's Morris. Off target from three-point range. And Special K, Pippen struggling to have his usual impact, but you gotta respect the effort. My goodness.
Yeah, much respect for Scotty, and you wonder if Jordan's flu game from last year's finals is on Scotty's mind. Thinking whatever I can give my team, I gotta try to give it to him.
That's a tough comparison, but a decent one. You're right.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's Morris after the made shot from Michael Jordan. Isley the pass to Anderson. And here's Carr. Fades and shoots. It's hauled in by Burrell.
And people will say he shouldn't take that mid-range look, but he had the space and is capable of making it.
Ball's knocked loose and out of bounds as the Jazz gain possession. Greg Ostertag, he's checked in for Utah. And the Bulls making a change also. Simpkins, he's checked in for Bushler. And so it's Utah here with the ball. Morris outside. Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation. Wennington passes to Burrell. Count the bucket, and he's got a free throw coming up as well.
Intense play by Scott Burrell. Gets hit with some contact, but just doesn't let it bother him. Still able to find the shot he wants inside.
And Utah making a change here. Vaughn's checked in, and the Bulls making a change also. Brown's checked in.
One shot.
And the free throw, no good.
And Burrell is a solid role player for this team. A strong, physical forward who plays with confidence.
A three from Morris. The Jazz with another miss. Now the Bulls with it. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. Hits. Count that one from Simpkins. Simpkins got his first points of the night.
Found the crease, took advantage, and got it in close.
And adds to this lead. They're having their way.
Vaughn kicks to Anderson. Pass to Foster. Can they get it? The shot misses. And the Bulls going the other way now. Brown the pass to Jordan. It's stolen by Morris. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Another miss by Utah. Brown outside. Passes it to Wennington. Shooting over Ostertag. Another one falls for Chicago.
How about the touch on Wennington's mid-range jumper? The big fella's got a nice stroke, y'all.
1:16 left to play in the final quarter. Here's Vaughn. He's covered by Brown. Anderson kicks to Morris. Now Foster. And there's Morris. That's good on the assist by Foster.
Good read from Foster. Sensing one of his guys is open and whipping the pass to him.
There's 53 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Now the pass to Burrell. Here's Simpkins. Fires the three. And the three ball is good.
This run, it's a haymaker, a knockout punch.
I think this run has sealed the game. Guys, where are we going to dinner?
And here's Utah. Here's Vaughn. Morris outside. Anderson outside. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense.
At the line for Utah, Greg Foster. At the line for one.
Shooting one.
And so he hits the technical free throw.
Capable of playing both the 4 and 5 spots, Foster also provides a certain toughness and edge.
Oh. 26 seconds left in the fourth. Pass to Vaughn. Just 5 to shoot. He feeds it to Morris. Pass to Isley. Here's Foster. And the Chicago Bulls win their 6th championship championship, completing a second three-peat. Without question, Mike, one of the greatest dynasties this league has ever seen.
6 championships in 8 seasons, a decade of dominance. The 90s have belonged to Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls.
And this title run for the Bulls, arguably, Clark, their most difficult, with age and injuries and even some palace intrigue. But for the moment, merely jubilation.
You covered it all there, Kevin. What a remarkable run, and now we'll just have to wait and see whether they decide to run it back one more time. This very well, though, could be the final chapter for this incarnation.